Here's something that confuses a lot of people about themselves. Their bank balance is fine, the bills are paid, there's even a solid emergency fund, and yet there's this low, constant hum of money dread that never quite goes away. It's a tightness in the chest that shows up the second a card gets declined for no obvious reason, or when an unexpected charge appears, even a small one, like $40. Financial anxiety and actual financial health are only loosely connected. You can have mathematically secure numbers, a healthy savings rate, and zero bad debt, while still feeling completely terrified about your financial survival. Which raises an uncomfortable question. If the numbers objectively prove that you are safe, what unseen threat is your mind actually reacting to? A lot of present-day money dread is completely ignoring your current situation. Instead, it's responding to an earlier one, a period of real instability, a layoff, a family crisis, or growing up in a household where money was genuinely scarce. This diagram illustrates what psychologists call pattern matching. When faced with a minor bit of uncertainty today, your brain maps that small anomaly directly onto a major past trauma, treating a $40 surprise like the devastating crisis you survived years ago. That period of scarcity trained your nervous system to treat financial uncertainty as highly dangerous. And human nervous systems are famously slow to update. They continue to defend you against a threat even after the actual danger is long gone. Your brain isn't sitting down and running the math on your current savings. It's flashing a red alert based on a memory. This brings us to a specific coping habit, checking your account balance. Checking once to make sure a deposit cleared is informed behavior. Checking it 8 times a day, every single day, is a vigilance response. There is a useful test to tell the difference between the two. Responsible checking informs a financial decision. Anxious checking is a behavior done entirely to soothe a feeling, rather than to learn something new about your money. We often mistake this hypervigilance for simply being responsible. It creates a fleeting sense of control through constant, obsessive monitoring, but it actually reinforces the underlying anxiety. The act of checking the app over and over doesn't change a single underlying digit. It is simply a mechanism to manage an emotion. A number on a screen has no inherent emotional weight. It only triggers a reaction when it gets filtered through an internal narrative. Look at this translation error in action. The exact same bank balance can produce entirely different responses. To one person, a specific figure means I'm prepared. To another, that exact same number means that's not nearly enough. These extreme reactions happen because the person isn't reacting to the math. They are running a script, often inherited directly from how their parents talked about or worried about money. So when a number causes a strong physical reaction, it's worth asking what specific story your mind just told. The story, not the figure on the screen, is the source of the dread. Sometimes, though, this anxiety isn't actually about finances at all. Money frequently becomes a stand-in for a more diffuse, harder-to-name fear about the future. Money is concrete and trackable. That makes it an incredibly convenient place to locate anxiety, especially compared to something abstract like uncertainty about a career path or the health of a relationship. It is simply much easier to obsessively watch a spreadsheet or a banking app than to sit quietly with a problem you don't know how to solve. If your feeling of dread stubbornly refuses to track with your math, no matter how stable your income gets, your anxiety has likely found a temporary home in your finances to avoid confronting a completely unrelated stressor. None of this implies that the dread you feel isn't real. The physical tightness is happening, but it does mean the fix isn't always chasing a higher number in your savings account. Often, just recognizing that your nervous system is defending against a past threat or masking a completely different fear is enough to start breaking the cycle. That simple distinction lowers the intensity, even before anything else changes. This is the reframe. You move away from reactive panic and acknowledge the psychological pattern. You notice the old Pret flaring up, and instead of digging into the numbers, you put the phone down and exhale. Next time, we are closing out this part of the series with something highly practical: how to take these insights and actually build a healthier, day-to-day relationship with money without relying on a rigid rulebook you'll abandon in 3 weeks. If this episode named something you felt but couldn't quite put into words, make sure to subscribe. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Does your financial anxiety usually match your actual numbers, or does it feel totally disconnected from them? See you in the next one.